Long time no chat, my lovelies. Anywho, it is me, Cameo, here for a long overdue video. I have so much to say, but I'm getting down to the nitty gritty because no one wants another hour-long video about my life, even though it's been a really long time since I made a video. Okay, let's just get down to it. Okay, so really quick, I was diagnosed bipolar in 2015 in December. I was super suicidal. Yeah, and Dev had broke up with me, or just kind of moved out. I think he just kind of like left. I don't even remember, like whatever. Just moved out. One day I came home, and all his stuff was gone. And that's not the first time that has happened to me. But I mean, it was whatever. It was on its way out. Like, no big deal. But anyways, that wasn't why I was suicidal. I started college, which is another reason why we broke up. And I just thought school would be easy in college. I hadn't been to college since, I got my huge scholarship in 2002. Got my rec in 2000. I don't even know. Anyways, and I just thought school was really easy and I could skate by like I did in high school and in basic, like regular college back at Las Vegas. And I had come to realize that it was not as easy as I thought with my 12 million jobs. And I failed easy classes, like core classes, like, whatever, in my first semester. So I don't even know exactly what it was, but I think Amy and Kirsten, or Amy, or one of the two, or both of them, I don't even know what the heck happened here. It was so cute earlier. Said, if you don't get fixed, I'm going to take you, if you don't get an appointment, I'm going to take you to the ER, and I will do it for you. So I walked into student services like the next day, or something, because I really didn't want to be taken to the ER and have that bill again, another bill like that again. And I went and talked to Ellie. I don't know if she was a PA or a doctor, and I was telling her about all my stuff. She had me fill out these blue forms about how do you feel on the scale, whatever. And I saw her, I don't know how many times. Regardless, she diagnosed me bipolar 1, especially since I told her I had hypersexual tendencies. Severe, right? You know me. So I was like, do you care if I get a second opinion? And she said, yeah, go to counseling and testing services over there, whatever. And they gave me an MMPI, which is like a pain, but it's super thorough. And it's like 500 or 400, whatever, true and false questions. And it tests for deception, several mental illnesses, and yeah. So then I was diagnosed again, bipolar 1, and I went back to Ellie, and she put me on lithium. I had Medicaid at the time. I had to have. Whatever. I had Medicaid. Did I? Yes, because I was working as a secretary. So I was full-time, and I was diagnosed that. I was on insurance, and I was taking lithium, and I had blood tests every 2 weeks because that's crazy stuff. Okay, whatever. 8 months after me and Deb broke up, we had reconnected, and that story is long. Whatever. And we've seen the Jelly Bean Chronicles, and we know that I got pregnant in March because of all those lithium blood tests and urine tests that I had to do every 2 weeks. And that's a long story in itself about how I found out I got pregnant. But that's for another video. Again, so I had to immediately get off lithium at that point because lithium is a fetal rating X pill, or whatever, medication. And so I immediately had to get off that. Okay, so imagine getting on lithium in January, and then at mid-March, end of March, getting off of it abruptly, no titrating down, no whatever, just immediately getting off that. Interesting, right? So, long story short, I had Salem. Things were rough because I was alone because Dev abandoned me. He went to most doctor's appointments, but still, like, he just, like, moved again back out one day, just suddenly, as usual, his thing. And, yeah, the hormones from the baby, everything was pretty manageable. I mean, I was still a little like, but, I was evil when I was pregnant. Super angry, moody, probably because I was alone. I don't know. But people kept asking me, like, why, this might be in the Jelly Bean Chronicles, I don't know, but people kept asking me, like, why are you so mean? And I'm like, it's because my baby's sucking up all my love. And boy, was I grateful, because he's the sweetest little boy ever. I mean, at 4, he's getting to be like a 4-nager. But, I mean, he's so sweet most of the time. Like, I don't even care. I mean, I yell at him, but not all the time. I'm not my brother. Love my brother. Just kidding. I'm not kidding. He does yell a lot. And okay, so after 18 months, I was like, I am done breastfeeding. I could breastfeed forever, but I think for me, like, and the pumping all the time at work, like, it was a year and a half, and all my jobs have been super supportive, but I think I was just done. And yeah, so I stopped pumping, and those feel-good chemicals and all those hormones started going away, and this house next door had a construction crew working in there, and I started to get all hypersexual with thoughts of just wanting to, like, bow wow, crazy porn, probably something. I don't know. Let's just use your imagination. Just go wherever you think I was going and times that by 1,000, and that's probably what I was really thinking. And so I went to student services again, because now I don't have an OBGYN, right? And I went back and I said, hey, I'm diagnosed bipolar 1, and I want to sleep with the construction crew next door. Help me. And she put me on Seroquel, I think, and maybe something else. I'm not really sure. But it was a mood stabilizer, and I can't remember what lithium was exactly. I don't really care. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. It is 1 o'clock in the morning. Are you paying attention? Sorry. It's 1, and Seroquel, and it's a mood stabilizer, and Seroquel's a fat pill. So yeah. So I had lost all this baby. I got up to like 222 when I was pregnant, and I had edema, and I was super just swollen everywhere. That's why I had to get emergency induced. And so I lost all this weight, not as much as I'd like, but when I got on the Seroquel, I like gained almost everything back. I lost like 60 pounds. And then when I got on the Seroquel, I gained 70 or 60. I can't remember. I went right back up. Okay, great. Whatever. So after about a year and a half on that, I don't even know. Like, Salem was 1, 2.5. I think after a year, I was like to my doctor, look, I am so tired of getting fat. I started buying fat clothes, like anticipating getting fatter. And I'm like, look, I'm going to get off these mood stabilizers. People were starting, and this was the final tick on the list, is because people were at the casino where I got hired, were starting to describe me as quiet, withdrawn, good listener, and anything that I never ever thought I would describe myself as. And I was like, this is it. This is the straw that's breaking the camel's back. Like, no more. So, and I was just like tired of getting fat, and just tired of being vanilla ice cream. Like, I was like melting vanilla ice cream, and I think we all know that I am like the opposite of vanilla ice cream. like I'm one of those freak shakes with sprinkles, okay? And I went to my doctor, and I was like, well, actually, I stopped taking the Seroquel. So she had me on antidepressant because I had like a super slump at one point, and we changed medications, and I don't even know. So she put me on different meds, and then I stopped taking the Seroquel. And so I think I still had the antidepressant, whatever it was. I think it was Wellbutrin. I'm still on Wellbutrin. I'm pretty sure that's what we changed it to. I don't really care. I'm on Wellbutrin. So I stopped taking the Seroquel, and I went to my doctor on our next appointment, because it was every 3 months at that point. And I was like, she's like, how are you doing? I'm like, I stopped taking the Seroquel. She's like, okay, well, you cannot just stop taking meds without telling me. And I said, Well, I was going to stop taking all of them, so it better be lucky that I only stopped one. And she's like, okay, stop, stop being dramatic, whatever. Anyways, so slowly over the months, my personality started coming back, and my son had a mom again because I was literally sleeping till 12. I could not wake up. I just could not wake up at all. And I tried to stop drinking coffee at some point, and it was just not working. My son would wake me up, and this boy is like 2.5 at this point, and he would come wake me up, and I just couldn't get off the couch until like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at all. And it was just, felt like a failure mom. It just wasn't working out, and I couldn't even stay awake very long. And I just don't know if you know me very well, but sleep is the enemy, which is probably why I loved messing around. But yeah, so I love not sleeping. And I think it's a waste of time to sleep and whatever. I think food's dumb too, and peeing and showering. But I have to do all those things, and I do all those things. Don't worry, okay? But yeah, I think sleep is dumb. So she said, okay. And I said, I don't want to get on any more meds. And she said, I think I might have stopped taking all my meds. I'm not really sure. All I know is that I started doing the no med thing. And yeah, I think, life's hazy around that time because I was a freaking zombie, and people were asking me why I moved so weird. Oh my gosh, this was the worst part. I was walking like a freaking zombie grandpa, Mr. Burns type. You can ask my sister, you can ask any of my friends, you can even ask my new coworkers at the casino at the time. I was walking my hands were up, and then when they changed my medication after I freaked out one time and they put me on the Seroquel, my hands were the same thing like Mr. Burns, but down more, and that was the only change. And people were like, why did she move it? And people for a year and a half were like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with Cameo. And people were just like, she's on meds, this is just the new Cameo. And my boss would say at Buffalo Wild Wings, you should have met Cameo before she had Salem. You should have known her before then, because I was batshit crazy, sure, but also the life of the party. Okay, whatever. Okay. So I tried doing the nomad thing for a while, and things were great. Because honestly, while I was pregnant and after and breastfeeding, and even after, during even the meds that I were on and was on and everything, I hadn't had symptoms for nearly 4 years. Okay, I'm just gonna say I stopped seeing my friend. I was seeing okay. I don't want to freak out my family. Okay, I was seeing somebody, and I stopped seeing this person. Oh gosh, I don't know why I'm so afraid of my parents to see this. I mean, whatever. It's like they can't use their imagination. Okay, I stopped seeing this person while I was 4 months pregnant, and I just started just to focus on myself and my baby, and get ready for this new chapter in my life. Great. Okay, so nothing after that. So my crazy days were over. I had sown my oats in a sense without knowing it. And one of the things they ask you when you're taking the MMPI is think of a time when X, Y, and Z happened. I think they say. I'm trying to remember the MMPI. It was so long. It took so long to take. And they say have you experienced one of these things in your life? I'm I have experienced 14 of those things in my life. And it was so nice to get the diagnosis of bipolar, because it was an answer to my crazy life. I'm not just crazy. I'm just bipolar. And people say, oh, we'll get to that later. We'll just get to that. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so, fast forward to this past year. I have realized in 2018 that chemistry is no longer right for me. I do not have the time to dedicate to being smart enough for that course. I'm a single mom. I don't have people giving me money. I was barely surviving. I had to, I was doing school and trying to survive and living off $3.35 an hour, scrounging for tips, literally living off your tips. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay my rent in 10 days because I don't know if it's gonna be busy in the restaurant. I don't know. It could be, it could not be. I don't really know. Great, awesome, fine, cool. It was so stressful, and I had like several jobs, sure, but after I had Salem, like while he was in the NICU, he was born on the 17th. On the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, 2 days before he was released from the NICU, my job wrote my work email, not my personal email, my work email, which I was not even on because, well, I was on. Why would I check my work email? Like, I am on leave. I'm just a secretary. And they sent me an email and they let me go, which breaks so many, FMLA logs. But that's a long story. That's another video. And when I went to go change my W-4 after Salem was out of the NICU, she texted me and said, you need to check your work email. Apparently you haven't seen what I wrote you. And that was like the first of the year. So I didn't even know. And that's just asinine, if you ask me. Like, why would you let me sit behind my desk and fill out a new W-4? Like, why would you just say, hey, Cameo, like, I was their secretary and worked at that company for years. Adult and Child Development Center. Real winners. Never mind. I have a friend who's their daughter, and it's not her fault that is just a really bad company to work for. Okay. So, I was really poor, and I was struggling so bad, and, and I decided that I needed to make a change, and I had no idea what I wanted to do because all I wanted was chemistry. Like, I still want chemistry. Like, the things that I want to do, like chemical regulation, like reform. I don't even know reform, but just being like working with nonprofits to help like change legislation so people are aware of what's in their house, what's leaching off their paint, what's leaching off their freaking couches, what's like, I wouldn't say leaching off, like seeping off, like what's like radiating off their stuff. I mean, like, we used to be worried about flame retardant stuff. It's so funny, but now the biggest things that are bad for you are actually waterproofing stuff, and well, everything's like waterproof. So when people are talking about building organic houses, like, I totally get it because people are getting sick in their own homes. Like, my best friend talks about she's got winter allergies. I'm like, what's blooming in winter, Kirsten? I shouldn't have said her name. What's blooming that's making you like that you have seasonal allergies for? And she's like, my doctor said I have seasonal allergies. And that's why Creighton her son has seasonal allergies. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, you love this broken nail right here? Oh, it just happened just now. Anyways, okay. And I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to look this up because it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why doctors in Idaho? Because, they're so up on the up and up, saying that she has seasonal allergies. And honestly, she's sick all the time. Her kids are sick all the time. And she says they never are, but they always are unless she uses them as an excuse. I don't know. And it's really just, your house is toxic and whatever. So, whatever. They didn't work out. So, I went to go to career counseling, which I highly recommend. It's very, 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 very good. And we landed on something that's quick, makes good money. I can have a good life for my family. Like, I'm so done with school. I've been in school for so long, like with only a 2-year an associate's to like back up all the schooling I've had. I know I had a kid and I did a lot of part-time semesters, but still, like, nothing to show for as many years as I've been in school besides an associate's degree. That locked in my credits, do it. And so we landed on OTA, occupational therapy assisting, and I did the prereqs, which were medical terminology and some other class I don't even know. I don't really care. And I knew when I did that last semester in 2019, the spring semester, that I was going to miss the deadline for applying for the OTA program in March, because I didn't have the prereqs done. I didn't have the shadowing done. I didn't have the essay or the letters of recommendation, which I probably already said done. So I just knew that I would be able to do that during the summer and whatever, and apply next March and hopefully get in by next semester or next school year, which would be this fall. And oh my gosh, why do you hate me so much? And so I was just doing my summer thing. I was getting my next summer planned out. So I was getting like, oh my gosh, I hate my life. I was getting like I was setting up barbering school and for next summer, and I was setting up taking one of these classes I've been trying to take for 10 years now. Oh my gosh. Since I was in beauty school in California. Like, that's how long ago I wanted to take this. This was when I first met this person and wanted to take her class. And finally, I was like, I'm going to do it next year. I'm going to do barbering school next summer. And I'm just going to get it all set up so that when I get accepted into the OTA program, I can work smarter and not harder. And I can do these things to help minimize my schedule. Funny how life works, right? So, a month before school starts, I had been in contact with the OTA director and the academic advisor for the COT at ISU, and so a month before school starts, about a month, I get an email from the COT advisor, and it says, do you want to be accepted into the OTA program this fall? We have spots. You've done all the prerequisites. And I'm like, I never applied. Like, why didn't you pull from people who had applied? I have not done any of the things. I've not written an essay. And so whatever. I came in, I'm like, I need to talk to you. Because I'm a planner and I had planned out my whole next, year already. And, I talked with her, asked her questions. Did I have to do letters of rec? Did I have to do the essay? Did I have to do the shadowing? I had only done a few. Anyways, and she told me what I needed to do, and she gave me a week. And within the week, I was like, okay, this was an opportunity that was given to me. I don't feel like I should piss on it or piss it away. I think whatever. And so I accepted, and my friend at B-Dubs, Diane, also got the same invitation, and she started with me, and I have someone that I know in the program, and it's been really, really fun. Okay, so I got off the mood stabilizers the summer before, so when Salem was 2.5. When I'm talking about getting accepted into the program, he was 3.5. So as I was getting off the mood stabilizers, I got off the mood stabilizers in about January because I was a freaking zombie until about then. I don't really know. And I don't really know. I just know it was after I started working for the casino, I got off them at some point, and I started getting my personality back, and my doctor noticed that I was turning back into a person back into my old self, because she would say hey, you're not wearing any makeup. I'm like, yeah, I know, I don't care. This was after the casino had opened, so about spring, late spring, right before summer, if not summer. And so she's almost a year ago, only almost a year ago. And so she's like, I see your personality coming back, whatever. And we started to think that maybe I had been misdiagnosed. I had no symptoms for 4 years. What's going on? I haven't had any. I mean, I don't know if you know what bipolar is, but I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just, let's see, do I have a list of symptoms here I can read to you? Hopelessness, sad, or empty. That only happens not very often to me. Irritable, inability to experience pleasure, fatigue or loss of energy, physical and mental sluggishness, appetite or weight changes, sleep problems, concentration and memory problems. This is bipolar depression. That's dumb. Okay. Mania. Okay, that was the depression part. Mania is feeling super hyper high or optimistic or extremely irritable. Unrealistic, grandiose beliefs about one's abilities or powers. I don't tend to get that. I mean, I think that I'm awesome a lot, but I'm not I'm God and everybody should bow down to me. No, that's kind of grandiose, right? Sleeping very little but feeling extremely energetic. talking so rapidly that others can't keep up, racing thoughts jumping quickly from one idea to the next, highly distractible, unable to concentrate, impaired judgment and impulsiveness, acting recklessly without thinking about consequences, delusions, and hallucinations in severe cases. Yeah. So if you're having psychosis and mania together, you're bipolar 1. Keep that in mind. Okay, hypomania. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. Okay, so I hadn't had anything. Like, I'm pretty, like, when I'm not on the mood stabilizer, I'm pretty just whatever already. Like, I'm pretty just unique. Sure, we'll go with that. And, but my doctor said, like, I'm starting to forget about this next semester. Like, I'm not prepared. This is happening so quickly. Like, financial aid. Like, I had to go through some roadblocks there because I already have a 2-year degree and they're wondering why I want another 2-year degree. So, whatever. So, it got all squared away somehow. And my doctor said, well, if you are bipolar, since this will be the most stressful semester of your program, your symptoms will present, no doubt. I'm like, great. And we knew it was going to be a hard semester because it was 16, 17 credits, 6 classes. And for this program, we had to do all these additional things like CPR, BLS training. It was just like so much stuff in the beginning. We had to do Center for New Directions. We had to do all these extra things and we had to get all these apps and the books. Like, it ended up costing me an additional $1,000 on my semester, which was $4,200. So $5,200 semester. Like, I had barely anything left after books and stuff like that. Like, it was ridiculous, like how much like that financial aid could not help me because there was literally nothing left after all these things I had to get for my classes. Whatever. I was annoyed, but I mean, I'm just excited to start this program. And my doctor said, like, I know you want to do this the no med way, but I'm really kind of nervous and whatever. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So I'm taking abnormal psych, A&P, kinesiology, foundations of OT, therapeutic activity. I don't even know. Like, I think therapeutic activities was kinesiology. And then we had our rotations and whatever else. Like, it was 6 classes total, technically. I was talking to the other people in my cohort, which we call my program class, my class, like the people that I take the class with every day, like, my program, the kids in my program, the students in my program cohort, right? And I asked them, and they're like, oh, like, we were told we can take abnormal psych the next semester. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, if I would have known, I could have taken a class the next semester. Because they set up your schedule for you. Like, you don't set up your schedule. I mean, you can, but it's not recommended. I mean, they have so many people there to help you, but I mean, I guess you could, but anyways. And so when they set up my class, like, I just thought this was your program. Like, if I would have known I could have taken those classes before my program started, I definitely would. I would have taken them in the summer. I would have taken them last spring. Like, I would have done them all. But I did not know that. I just thought that was your program classes. No idea. So I had to take co-requisite classes. And I did not know that those co-requisite classes I've taken one of them the next semester. Because instead of taking 6 classes and 4 classes, I could have taken 5 classes and 5 classes, right? Or whatnot. And so I was a little just, I could have made this easier on myself. Like, this is, like, I have to work a full-time job to maintain insurance for this program. I'm not under my parents. I'm too old to be under my parents' insurance. I don't have a husband or a wife to take care of me, or that's under their insurance. Like, I don't qualify for Medicaid, so I have to work full-time to maintain my insurance to be in this program. And I cut down Buffalo Wild Wings. I cut down my hours on my full-time job to be the bare minimum to keep my, so I cut down 10 hours a week on my full-time job. I cut Buffalo Wild Wings down to 1 day a month, the bare minimum you can work. And the salon, I don't even know because I have no clients left because I can never get to them. So, the semester's going along. It's killing me. Kinesiology is hard AF, and A&P, like, it's just killing me. And I'm just like, just get through the semester, just get through this. If you can get through the semester, you can get through everything. The orientation for the OTA program made me want to cry. Everybody was crapping themselves. Like, I thought I was going to have rancid, like, anxiety diarrhea for the next 2 years. I don't even know what that is, but I was figuring that I was going to get that. And it was just terrible. Like, I was like, what did we get ourselves into? And I just was scared. And then I started doing the program, and it was fine. And I'm being myself, and work's going good. I'm in the buffet, and it's fine. And then this guy wants to start or ask me on a date, and I said on Facebook, and I was like, okay, Friday night after I get off work. Like, that's the only time I have for you. Like, in my head, that's how I wrote the text. Like, Friday after work, 11:30. I don't even know, like, after I get off work. Like, because me, that's the only time you have. And I wasn't even being very nice when I wrote it, but like, when you text, you don't hear the attitude in my head unless you emoji it up, and I didn't, so whatever. And he's like, fine, cool. And we just started hanging out. And, they say that you find these things when you least expect them. Well, I found it when I least wanted it. Like, I did not want. I had nothing since that 4 month, like, I stopped seeing that person 4 months in my pregnancy. And that wasn't even really anything substantial. That was just, like, what it was. It was just fun. And so, I had, like, this 6 week, like, regretful, horrible, like, I don't want to talk about or say that person's name. Like, it was, I don't even count that. I have to say that because that's like that's a little caveat, but whatever. There was a 6 week thing at some point when Salem was younger, but it was dumb. And that's all I had, like, for 4 years. Salem's about almost 4 in this timeline last fall. Nothing. So, I mean, from the time 4 months when I was pregnant to that time, it was 4 years, nothing. And I was fine with it, and totally fine with it. I don't want or need anybody, and I still feel that way. I'm like, take it or leave it. I don't really care. Like, that's just this week. Next week I might be like, oh my gosh, I need to get married. But, like, this week I'm like, take it or leave it. I don't know. Relationships just, it's just work. And I don't want to work on that. I just want to, I don't know. I'm terrible sometimes. Anyways, okay. So, I'm taking abnormal psych, and I'm like, I want to be off all my meds. Not, like, I want to be off the bipolar med. I'm sorry, the antidepressant. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, I think that's great that you're taking abnormal psych, and I really appreciate all the insight you've been gaining, but I do not want to take you off your antidepressant until after this semester. Your hardest semester of the program is over. And I'm like, and I was like, I don't want to. And I was like super, like, I was starting to get upset because I hate, like, knowing that I might have to be med dependent on the rest of my life. Like, I don't know, like, it was just like, okay, fine, whatever. And, yeah, so me and this guy keep hanging out a little bit. And, if you're my parents, just, I don't know why I watch these things or whatever, my family, like, don't call my parents. Like, they don't want to hear me. They don't want to hear this, okay? Like, I don't hurt their feelings, but I want to be real with my channel and my friends, and I'm real all the time anyways, to a fault. So, keeping it real, hashtag, boondocks. So, yeah, but then, like, after, I want to say, like, it felt like a while to me, but, my doctor and I have a pact that when I start texting somebody, because she's like, I want to get you on birth control right away, like, when I was 18 months old, when Salem was 18 months, and I'm like, no, I'm not saying anybody, and she's like, well, okay, like, since you're bipolar, like, when you start texting somebody, like, it goes really fast with you people, like, so when you start texting somebody, just let me know, and we will get, like, an IUD or whatever. And so me and him start texting and talking, whatever, and I'm like, okay, I need an IUD. And she's like, okay, let's do that tomorrow, basically. And so I got that, whatever, but we had at that point already had shenanigans, and the next day, literally, mania had triggered me, and I was like, sex, couldn't stop, whatever, and I scared the poor guy, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and I don't know why I texted him this, because I just could not unfocus from this, and I was like, are you interested in, like, I must have given him like 27 options, like, are you interested in Just want to know. Like, just want to know. Like, if you're cool with it, I want to try it. If not, whatever. I've done it before. Whatever. Like, I just had like a list of 1,000 things. 27. Anyways, who's counting? And whatever. And I don't want to talk about my relationship at all because that's 1,000 other videos. But just the fact that I got triggered mania, and it started causing problems at work because I was, if you want, forgot the mania symptoms, super high and optimistic and super irritable. Very little sleep, but very energetic, talking so fast, racing thoughts, one idea to the next, highly distractible, impaired judgment, impulsiveness, recklessly without thinking about the consequences. So some of those things really just got to my boss, and she did not like that, and she kicked me over into the other department in the casino, the other food and beverage outlet. And I loved the buffet because I left before the other restaurant left. I got there after the other restaurant left. I still made the same hourly, even though I was literally just getting drinks and cleaning off tables, maybe if the buster wasn't there. Like, pouring drinks, I was making super high dollars an hour before tips. Like, I don't even get it. Like, why that department makes so much money for pouring soda. Like, they get paid a lot of money to give people drinks. It's like to be like, oh, can I get you a Coke? Sweet. Wow, I just made my $1 billion an hour for that one drink. Anyways, okay. And you have a lot more responsibility in the other restaurants. So I think that the outlet that I came from should get paid minimum wage, and then the outlet I went to should get paid $3 more than what I'm getting paid right now. Just say, whatever. It doesn't matter. So we have a lot more responsibilities, a lot more duties, a lot more, we have financial responsibilities, and we have a lot more to do with the guest, way more hands-on with the guest, whatever. So, my job was getting affected, and is getting a little more aware. Like, I wasn't taking anybody's shit. Let's just say that. I was starting to stand up for myself a lot. And, and I don't know, and I was just getting very intense. So, like, me, normal, not on the mood stabilizer, turned up quite a bit. And people are like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's so funny because I was like vanilla ice cream, and now I'm like rainbow explosion, glitter cake, unicorn farted, something sprinkles, edible glitter. I don't even know. And my makeup was like kind of like what you see here, but you know, different colors. And my hair was like just a blob, but I ended up cutting it like this, and whatever else, and whatever. And, you know, the problem is when you start standing up for yourself, you're labeled as difficult. When you stop letting people walk all over you, you are a problem. You know, it's just so funny. And I had been off the debate team as of last year because I had Salem, I was working, I just needed like a break. And the ISU team, Bengal, debaters are like kicking butt, and they didn't need me and like holding them back. Like, I didn't, like, it was fine. Like, I was like, okay, you know what? I am totally cool with just like letting it go. You know, no qualms. Like, I was like done. I think that chapter was done. And totally fine. No big deal. Like, it was great. You know, I was never really amazing at it, but it was great experience. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, we won. I remember when we did nationals in Nashville, and it was so fun. I mean, all our debate tournaments were super fun, but this one, like, we got third in sweeps in the nation. Like, we were third in the nation, and there was only like a handful of us that went. So that means our scores were so good from the few of us that went, that we got third in the nation. Like, our high school got third, or college got third, and ISU got third in the nation. That was awesome. That was like super awesome. And then like this past year in New York, they got actually first in I think BP debate. So they're just I mean, we're just killing it right now. So I just was totally fine with it. However, this was mid-semester when my mania triggered. And I started getting very high highs. And I got one extremely low low. And I hadn't remembered, like, it had been so long, years, like 4+ years, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is how I was. Oh my gosh, this is how I was. Like, I was so obsessed with sex. I was so obsessed with this, mostly sex, but like it was just like just like I just it was just like remembering everything that I used to be. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is how I used to be. Yeah. And I'm like writing notes, and I'm taking like, and I'm just like self-reflecting, and I'm going back to my doctor, because at this point I'm like, hey, we need to talk. I'm manic. Like, I'm manic. I think at this point we know I'm bipolar. And she's like, yeah, I think so too. Let's put you on meds. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go on meds. I just want to like let this ride. Like, I feel like it's fine. Like, it's manageable. I love the mania. I don't know why you want to treat my happiness. Like, I'm not sad yet. But like, what do we know about bipolar mania? After the mania, you go into a depression or psychosis. And you don't want to do any of those. That's why they try to treat the mania, because they're worried about the after mania part. And my mania was going and going and going. It was turning into months. And it was just getting progressively more intense. And my boyfriend thought it was fun. Oh, he wasn't my boyfriend then. And people, whatever. But, when you start questioning things a lot, like, they say questions are never a problem, but like questions that are like calling out, like, hey, did you notice this? Hey, did you notice that? Like, I'm just noticing this, and I don't mean to be offensive. It's just like whatever. But like, I don't even know, how do I say this? I don't know. So it's just a side note. So I got really, really mad one day, and it was during school and everything, and I freaked out. And when I was like, oh yeah, when I get mad, I want to retaliate. So I have a screen name on some platform somewhere, and it's basically like about retaliation. And I was like, why did I ever choose that name? Like, I can't remember like why I had that name. And then yeah, when I got really mad, I remembered, oh, because I like to get back at the person that made me mad. And it's not that they need to even know what I did. I don't go there until like, oh my gosh, I did this, like, ha ha ha. When you did this to me, I did this back to you. Like, I don't even tell you what I did. I just did it, and in my mind, we're even. You know what I mean? Yeah, that wasn't something I remembered until I got that mad again. I mean, I had a total breakdown. Like, I was hysterically crying. I am so glad classes were in the afternoon that semester, because I wouldn't have been able to go to class. I'm like freaking out. Like, I'm like, why is this making me so mad? Like, do I like this guy more than I think? And like, why do I like this guy more than I think? I don't want to like anybody. Like, I do not like want to like anybody. I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't like relationships. Like, ugh, like, they've never ever been a good thing in my life. So like, take it or leave it. I don't really care. Like, whatever. And I'm like, and it made me mad that I was getting mad about this. And so I have a line in the sand, and you don't need to know what that is. My doctor and I know what that is. A few other people know what that is. But let me tell you, it's pretty extreme for me to say this on a platform like this. But it's not very extreme for me. It's something that would be so easy to do. But I know that if I did it, I would be crossing my line in the sand, and I probably would. Like, I'm bipolar is crazy, right? Because my mom even said like, "Oh, Kimmy, like, are you using bipolar as a crutch?" Oh, wow. Okay, so sweet. Here's the thing, like, I read somebody's post one time. She is an amputee, and she shared her friend's post. And she said, if I have to hear about one more person talking about their mental illness, I'm gonna push them off a bridge, because I am disabled. You're not. So you're physically disabled. I'm mentally disabled. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. There are things in place for people who are physically disabled. There are things in place if you're an amputee, if you are that's not PTSD, let's not say PTSD. If you have no legs, if you have a cancer, if you have a physical illness, there are so many things in place for you. There's a plan. There's a plan of care. There's a plan of attack, but there's something in place. When you have a mental illness, there is nothing. There are hopes, there are dreams, there are wishes, and there is whatever, but there's no plan. There is like, well, we're going to try this, and we're going to give you, for kids, we're going to give you HI. It's not called HI anymore. And we're going to give you this, but we're going to cut HI. We're going to give you 30 hours, and then all of a sudden we're going to, Medicaid's going to cut it, and we're just going to give you 6. And we're going to hope that those 6 hours a week can help your daughter not be able to stab someone in the eye when she gets mad. Or whatever it is. But there's nothing like a trillion doctors that are there and they have the plan of care. Like, it's not like that. Like, mental illness, gosh, so I have bipolar. There is not one drug made for bipolar at all. There are some drugs that have been shown to work for people who have bipolar, but there is not one bipolar drug out there. So, yeah, that really sucked. And so when I had this major meltdown, I was seeing my doctor that week already because we were on the 2-week plan because I'm crazy. And I said to her, like, I am freaking out, like, whatever. I almost did this, like, it was so close, and I almost crossed that line in the sand and whatever. And she's like, holy crap, like, that scares me to know that you were so close to dropping Salem off at your parents' house and never seeing him again. Because if I cross this line in the sand, I'm not saying that I want to do that. I'm not saying that I would do that, but I'm saying that it is, like, I just don't know where I would be if I crossed that line. And I don't think it would be anywhere good. And I think, like, since the personality I am, it's like, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's bigger? What's bigger? What's bigger? What is the next challenge? You know, I mean, and since I'm so hypersexual, like, these challenges can get pretty intense for you guys, but not intense for me. So, I would just want to see what, gosh, I'm sorry, my nose. I just wanted to see what would be, you know, I just want to keep, like, going bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So she's like, Cameo, this no med thing was really cute, but